Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chelloveck Movies. My name is John, and this video is going to be the physical media I picked up in the past couple of weeks. Also, if you stick around to the end of the video, I'll show you some records I picked up and also what I'm going to do with some of the damaged stuff that I got, the water damaged stuff. I've come up with a bit of an idea what I'm going to do with the sleeves to that. And also as a reply to Bone Hinge 4, who asked me about this vinyl I had that I talked about a while ago, about how scratched it was. I was going to show it. Well, I forgot all about it, but I'm going to show it on this video. First up on DVD, I've got the Bronx Warriors. Now this is to complete. I'm not completed yet, but I'm getting there. To complete the set that Ken Sparnan had donated to me. This amazing set of Shameless DVDs. So now I've got the full trilogy, the Bronx Warriors 2, and the New Barbarians. I'm so glad to pick this up because I love this movie. This is one of the first ones that John Hall said to me, you've got to see this movie. It's, if you think about the Warriors crossed with Mad Max in a fashion, you're halfway there. It's absolutely crazy, this movie. And the picture quality on here is surprisingly good for a DVD. And I've always really rated this movie. I've always really rated the whole trilogy, but this one by far is the best one. The person in here, the main star here, is called Trash. It's just everything about this movie is so much fun, and the performances in here are really over the top and tongue in cheek and just crazy. But I've always got a blast out of Trash, especially the way he walks. He walks as if he's got a stick down his back and into his pants, because I've never seen anybody with such a straight back in all my life. Nobody would have to tell him about his posture. But yeah, this is such a great movie, and I'm just so glad to have this in the collection. So that goes in there. I do need a few more to collect the full lot of the DVDs. But once again, I want to say a big thanks to my good friend Ken Sparnan for sorting me out with the majority of all of these titles, and I can't wait to complete them. So really, really rate this highly. And to be honest, the DVD on this looks absolutely amazing. So that's the Bronx Warriors. Next up, in a rare visit to CX, I hardly ever go in there now because the prices are just absolutely ridiculous. Actually, I was tempted the other day because when I saw there was a True Lies in there in 4K for £30, I thought that's really cheap. It has never been £30 in even brand new in HMV. 24.99 was the biggest price for that. It's not going out of print or anything. £30, absolutely ridiculous. So what I picked up for £2, which is the better price, is The Man with the Iron Fists 2. Now this is by RZA. Now he is from the Wu-Tang Clan. Now the Wu-Tang Clan, the band, and they've actually got a channel on YouTube. And if you can check out some really dodgy kung fu movies on there. They've got loads and loads of there, and you can go and see all these Bruceploitation movies in there if you ever wanted to. So when I saw this, I thought, well, for £2, I'll go for it because I'm a big fan of the Wu-Tang Clan and I'm also a big fan of that channel. So I put this on, and the picture quality here is absolutely stunning. It's a brand new movie, and it stars RZA, who is from the Wu-Tang Clan. He's a rapper, and they must be really heavily into this kung fu stuff. So when he's in here, he's taking this movie quite seriously. When I put this on, I was expecting this movie to look ultra low budget, and to be honest, it looks like it's got high production values, which I was quite surprised with. Now RZA, who is from the Wu-Tang Clan, he must be really invested in this kung fu side of cinema because it looks like a really well-made kung fu movie, and I'm quite excited to see it. And also, it's an 18, and not many films these days, are 18, so there must be quite a lot of violence in here, which is which is the more the merrier. So yeah, so for £2, I thought why not, and it might turn out to be something that was quite good. It's obviously the uncut version, it says. So yeah, interested to check that out. So that's The Man with the Iron Fists 2. So speaking of Bruceploitation movies, that moves me nicely into my next pickup from HMV for £12.99, which is a steal, is The Clones of Bruce Lee. This set is, if you don't know anything about the Bruceploitation movies, just get this. If you're a fan of Bruce Lee, if you bought that box set recently and you've been kind of invested in what Bruce Lee was all about, and you wanted to see how the story progressed after his very untimely death in 1973. Although on the back of this it says within hours of his 1974 funeral. I think that's a misprint, which I was quite surprised with. But take that away, not taking anything away from it. This set is absolutely great. Now there is a big, huge set. You can get all these movies that they're sort of talking about in here. You can actually get to see them on this big, huge set. It costs quite a lot of money. But this one is an introduction to the Bruceploitation genre. It is exceptional. It has interviews with the main stars from Bruceploitation movies. So if you want to know a bit about it and you're quite interested in how this story went on by the untimely death of Bruce Lee, and everybody wanted to have more Bruce Lee and there was none. So they went and got these people who look like Bruce Lee in a fashion. From actually, some of them are quite good and some of them were absolutely awful. But it doesn't matter because yeah, either way you would have a good time with them. And this documentary, it's got plenty of extras on here as well. This documentary goes behind the scenes with these great interviews with these people today. And it's interesting to see what happened to them in the aftermath of Bruce Lee's passing from around about 1974 to about 1984. This stuff was really sort of all over the place. So in my opinion, this is a must-have for any fans of Bruce Lee and martial arts. That's Enter the Clones of Bruce. Next up from HMV for $16.99, I've got the Section 3 Band Video Nasty, Mansion of the Doomed. This is on the 101 black label. And I've got some in there, not all of them. And in here you do get this really good booklet, actually. Now, with this being banned, I started to watch this last night. I fell asleep, not because the film was bad or anything, just because I was that tired. And I'm going to go back and finish it at night. This is a great movie. I was really invested in it, and it's got a great premise. If you're somebody who doesn't like eye horror, I don't recommend you go near this movie. There's a lot of eye stuff in here. Now, the short story about this film, which like I say, I thought it was really a good premise, is this fella who's a surgeon, and his daughter gets blinded in a car accident. So what he does is he thinks, what I can do is now, I would advise you if you get this, don't look at the book first, watch the film first, because I can see a few spoiler plots in there. Yeah, I'm not sure anymore because I will be getting spoilers things for you there. So the video nasty title is Massacre Mansion, although inside there is Mansion of the Doomed, but it's actually a different cover. So I'm not too sure what cover it would have been on the pre-cert. I never saw this one before. So when I put this on, I was quite surprised at how good the picture quality was. In parts, it was absolutely stunning, pin sharp. There's other parts where it was a little bit grainy, but that's not really anything you can do. That's just the way it was kind of shot. So that's no problem to me. But in essence, this one looks absolutely stunning. Now, the big part, now I haven't watched the full movie, and I won't go too much into spoilers, but what happens is this fella is called Richard Basehart. Now, I've seen him in quite a few things, but I didn't really pay much attention to him. He's probably been in quite a few TV movies and stuff like that. Quite surprised to see him in stuff like this. But Lance Henriksen is in here, but he's very young in this one. I think this is 1976. And so far, I've seen a few bits of go on it, which I can understand why it might. I don't think it's like one of the worst ones you'll see at this point, but I haven't watched it fully. I do think that there was a big frown upon eye stuff in the cinema at that point with the banned video nasties. So maybe because of this, if this was the actual cover, maybe this is something that fell foul and it got taken down. Maybe because it's had a thing called Massacre in it. There's all this Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It could be that's the reason why it got banned, but it didn't get really banned. It got put in Section 3, which is the stuff that if it was in the video shop, the police could have took it away. It wasn't actually physically banned, not like the previous 72 that went down to 39, which were the ones that would have got prosecuted if you had them in your shop. But his whole sort of the way he talks and all that, I was quite taken by his voice. He has got a really good voice to listen to, and I could imagine him being in some great. I wouldn't mind seeing him in some more movies, actually, surprisingly enough. So for me, I really enjoyed this movie. So that's Mansion of the Doomed. So next up in the 2 for £30 4K sale, I picked up a movie that I'd been looking at a while ago, actually, about 2 weeks ago. And I thought I'd love to get that with another movie. I went to look for another movie. I could not find anything that I wanted. So I had to leave it there, which was because I only ever saw one slip, which is on this one. Now it was still there with a few that didn't have the slips on. I've been looking for this for a long time with the slip on and never seen it at all anywhere before until now. So I picked up Deadpool. I love this franchise. I think it's brilliant. I think the whole thing about this kind of adult comic is great and more the merrier. Actually, I would like to see this done more often. But yeah, just don't think this is great. So I put it on, and of course, it looks brilliant because it's a brand new 4K. It's going to look good. And yeah, so just so glad to get this finally after a long search for it on 4K with a slip. And now I've got that with the second one. Can't wait for the new one to come out in the cinema. I'm going to go there with my son actually. He's going to pay us in, so that's good. So I can't wait to see that. And am I right in thinking that that's not Deadpool 3 though? That's a kind of intermediate one, I think. So anyway, really happy to get that, and it looks brilliant on 4K. That's Deadpool. So the other one I picked up in a 2 for £30 sale is Titanic. Now I was going to buy this the other day for £20, which I thought was a decent price. So you get 3 discs in here. But then I was surprised to see it come down in the 2 for £15 so quick actually, because it was always my goal to get this, cheap, because I have got this movie a couple of times. I do think this movie is brilliant. I went to see it twice at the cinema. I went once with my gran. My gran went, and of course she wasn't used to all this big bombastic surround sound. She didn't have a clue about it, but she was kind of thrown by it. So I remember there was one time in the movie where obviously there was all this stuff banging and clattering, that the cinema was shaking. So I remember it went quite quiet. It was me, Deborah, and me and my gran, and she went at the top of her voice, "Does it have to be so loud?" And I think everyone laughed at that, so that was quite funny. That was a good memory I've got of that visit to the cinema. But I went to see this in Barnsley as well with Deborah because she's from Barnsley, and we went down to see her mum and dad. And we went to see it first there, and then we came back and saw it with my gran. This is a fascinating story, the Titanic story. So me and Deborah watched loads of stuff on, Discovery on YouTube about Titanic mysteries and that. We just think they're great. And this one, I think, is a great movie. I think it's a bit long, yes, and it's got a bit of a love story thing, but it doesn't matter because I just like the thought of this whole thing, and I'm really in there when I'm watching it. I'm kind of thinking I'm there on the Titanic. I do think that the special effects on here look pretty good, actually, but I must admit on the 4K is that good looking that I thought that some of it looks a little bit false, but I don't mind that because I think what they did with it was like unbelievable anyway. And if some of them look a bit like, dodgy CGI when people are walking around, you can tell, they're not real. Doesn't bother me at all, if I'm honest, but you could see it more in the 4K. I've got to say that the 4K looks ultra sharp. The colors shine at the first, and obviously the dark levels are absolutely amazing on the second half of this movie. And I can't wait to watch it in full actually, because it's a movie that I can put on and watch quite a few times, a lot longer. It's a longer movie, which I don't watch many of, but it's one of the probably the most watched longest movie I've ever seen in my collection. So yeah, but I do think the 4K is a really good 4K. I know probably it's going to have a bit of a touch of AI about it. It doesn't bother me because I looked at it and I thought it looked great, and that's what it's about. If you're a fan of how it looks, then it's job done for me. So that's Titanic. So in answer to Born-Hinge Ford's question about my most scratched vinyl, it's this one, although this is the one I bought to replace the one that was scratched. This is well, it's not brand new. This is £3.99 from Beatdown Records, well £3.33 because I got three for £10. So I did replace this, and I just love this album. It's absolutely brilliant. Seen Level 42. They are the best band I've ever seen for the way they can play their instruments. Unbelievable. So this is the one that's got damaged. Now I've kept this one because it's kind of a bit of a talking point. So the short story about this is, when you get together with someone, not the devs. This is before the devs, and you share things like movies and music and that, and you'd swap things. Now I did give this person quite a few things from my collection, and one of them was this vinyl. Now at the time, well, obviously this came to an end, and it was quite an acrimonious split, and it was all my fault. I will say that. So I have got in touch with the person since then, and I did apologise for what I did say. But at this point, in the middle of all that, I did ask somebody to say, "Can you go and ask her if I can have my records back, please?" And there was a few, extra words put into that. Anyway, so I did. I didn't get any of my records back apart from this one. And when I got it back, I thought, oh, I'm going to have a play of it because I haven't listened to it for maybe a year or so. And when I got it out, I was, I'm laughing, but at the time I just thought, I can't believe this. I'll pick the best side first. Hang on. Yeah, look at that one. Yeah. That's not going to play, is it? Shows another. Oh, hang on. There's another one. Quite hard to show up in here, but you can see that one. That's it's a bit. That's a bit. And I did laugh when I saw it. I thought, well, I deserve that. So yeah, I thought well, maybe the other side plays, but no, that one will definitely not play. Yeah, oh, look at that one. Now that's yeah. Well, they're all vicious, aren't they? But then again, I mean, like I say, there was harsh words, and yeah, I deserve that. Yeah. So that is my most scratch record of all time, and to be honest, I did deserve it. It wasn't good, but this is what you do when you're just young and stupid. So that's in reply to Bornhinge 4, who asked me about this ultra scratched album. So I did pick up some new records, not scratched, from Newcastle. First, I picked up from HMV Kraftwerk's Autobahn 1974. This is on blue vinyl. The blue vinyl looks absolutely amazing, and it's just incredible to own this on vinyl. I did used to have this on like vinyl from years ago, but it got water damage, didn't it? So really happy to get this back in the collection. So the next one I actually did have it on vinyl, but I gave it away to my friend. It is Kraftwerk's The Mix from 1981. This is on white vinyl. Now, white vinyl is meant to sound really noisy and rough when you put it on, but this sounds absolutely silent, so it's brilliant. I remember playing the original one of this, probably one of the last things I played on my record player before I went back to it. And it sounded absolutely brilliant. It's one of the best ones I had. But these ones just sound absolutely fantastic. And it's amazing to have them now in this like really good version. Now, speaking of really good versions, these aren't any of them because these were the water damaged ones. But first, this wasn't water damaged. This is a one that I managed to get back. This Wasp Scream Until You Like It. It's a theme from Ghoulies 2, which is round about there. I've got Ghoulies and Ghoulies 2. This is the 12-inch. I've got this cleaning stuff actually, which I clean these up and they come up absolutely like beautiful. Now these covers here, I've got loads of them off my good friend Dave Ramsden. I put them in these ones in there. I got some new ones. I said to Dave, I said, oh, I'm going to get some ones because I've run out, so I'm going to get a big pack of them. Of course, I got a big pack, but these ones are just slightly small, so we can't fit them ones in there. But I can fit these older ones and these 12 inches in there. Now, I thought myself, I'm going to have to go and get some more of those bigger ones, but I thought, what am I going to do with those other ones apart from putting some 12-inch in it? Now, I thought, what I can do is, I was going to think, how do I save the water damaged vinyl I've got? If you haven't seen my water damaged vinyl video, I'll leave a link to it down below. I thought I can put these water damaged ones into it and I can kind of keep them in a fashion because I don't want to get rid of them, but I don't want to put them near to my other vinyl and sort of taint them. So I've put them in there. And this is just the covers, by the way. I love this album, Children of the Night. One of my favorite albums. I used to play this on a loop. Now, what I have done with that is I have went and got these other ones here and I do take the album out so I can play the album anytime I want. Now, this album plays great, and I cleaned it up, and it looks, plays really well. Apart from the first song on side two, 19th Nervous Breakdown, which is a Rolling Stones cover. Now, if you can see on the very edge of that, you can see how the grooves there don't look the same as the rest of the album. Well, for some reason, and this happened from day one when I got it, the outside of this album just plays as if it's like it jumps all over the place and it's got this horrible noise to it. If it's like scratching and got this like fluffy sound, it's horrible. So I'll obviously not play that song, but that's obviously been damaged somewhere along the line. But it's great to have this, back to. I mean, look, it's just come up like beautiful. So the short story is I can save all of these water damaged ones. So as well, I found this one, which is Growl or The Growl by Debauchery. This is The Ice. Oh, yeah. You've got The Growl and The Ice. I think the album's called The Ice. It's from about 1988. It was actually recorded in a place called Baker Street Studios in Bede Industrial Estate. And my band was in Orcus at the time. who used to play loads of gigs with Debauchery, we actually went to the same place and we recorded our demo tapes from there. But they recorded an album there, and we never did record an album. But yeah, it's great. Actually, when I put this on, I was a big fan of Debauchery when I used to play there. I used to like watch them play before they used to support us. So I used to like. So it's great to actually get this out, and the cover's wrecked, like obviously, but I will be putting one of those shrink wrap things, the protectors. So also this is another couple of things that the damaged obviously, but I've saved them so I can still look at them. I will put them back in my garage, sorry, studio, and I will keep them in there. But at least I've got them and I can kind of see them whenever I want, even though the majority of them are damaged. Obviously, the Dawn the Dickie's one of my favourite albums of all time. Just love this one. And it's great to actually keep a hold of these. Now, also, as well, I've got a lot of Wasp albums, which I've actually cleaned them all up. They all play absolutely like mint quality. And Wasp is quite hard to get in vinyl these days. So I've got the inner bags from the Wasp albums, and they are in pretty good condition considering. But the albums together, I think it's four of them, they are stuck together. So unfortunately, I haven't got them at hand. I'll have to get them removed and they're going to come up. There'll be a lot more damage to them. There's from the first album, the first Wasp album, which I think is absolutely brilliant, just self-titled. So yeah, so that's actually a way I've got of keeping some of this stuff now. And it's not going to taint, if I put that near any vinyl, which I'm not really going to put near any new vinyl, it won't kind of go like this mold will not transfer on anything. They're kind of sealed, for want of a better word. So I thought I'd just add that on the video so you can see, what is happening. But that's going to take a long time to get these all cleaned up. But at least I can listen to them all, and I'll store them downstairs next to my vinyl in a separate container, and they'll be ones I can just go back to and have a listen to because there's some amazing vinyl in there that I've got. And to be honest, most of it is practically when I clean it, it'll be like perfect. And it's nice to keep these covers, and also it's nice to rescue some that didn't get touched by the water damage, like this one. I listen to this and it's great to hear this. I haven't heard this for a long time. And obviously, to end, these are just sensational. Can't get enough of them. And I've only got a couple more, and I've got the full Kraftwerk discography on new vinyl. So that's it from me. Thanks for watching. You take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.